All right, another thing here, everyone, that you're absolutely, absolutely, absolutely gonna love. Um, we're on the coast right now, most of us at least, right? So if you're not on the coast, you can pretend that you're on the coast just for this segment. Um, Maxwell has a super super cool water feature. It's really amazing. Ready? So check this out. Let's reduce that for a moment and go into our top view. Um, what I want to show you is where is it? Right here. Yeah. So let me slide this over a little. Ah, darn. All right. Well, mine's all compacted. Yours might be a higher res than this screen, but anyway, in this menu, all the way to the right, is this one that's called Maxwell C. And if you can see the whole bar, it'll be the three squiggly blue lines. Let me pull this out so you can see it. There, Maxwell C. When you click that, it's a little confusing. It doesn't give you a lot of instructions. But in essence, what it's doing is it's creating a plane that's going to act as a sea, an ocean, right? So what we can do is try to configure this sea in such a way that replaces the plane that we have that acts as our ocean and horizon for now. So, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to keep it rather small at first, just so you can kind of see the quality and intensity of the waves. So I'm going to leave it at size 100 by 100, but I'm going to change the Z size to 10, right? Because that's going to make it kind of, rise and fall up to 10 feet, right? It gives it some intensity. When you hit enter, what it's going to do is all the way back here at the origin, it creates this thing, and it's a point cloud. So in the perspective view, it just looks kind of like this. And what you can see by kind of floating around this thing is that it's undulating, right? It's kind of going up and down, creating a wavy surface. Now, how do you use this? What we have to do is move it into place by our building, and then it becomes sort of an ocean-like element. So I'm going to yank this thing all the way over here, pull it all the way up there, and then zoom select in perspective, and it looks like I'm kind of close. And let me just kind of zoom in on it in my other views too to understand where it is. So it looks like right now it's still a little high, so I'll put it there, slide it over here, and then slide it that way. Let's yank it out a little more. Okay, so here we have it sort of facing our two buildings. Well, my two buildings. I have my sort of contextual building down here, and then I have my actual building right up there. So the way I'm going to do this here is I'm just going to take kind of a draft image from this corner. Nothing special. And it's not going to look great because I still have all my construction blocks behind it and everything like that. So what you should know about this thing is that right now, even though it's just points, it is actually a surface. So when I go in, well, I'm in rendered viewport, but it calculates as a surface. And so you should materialize it like it's an actual object. So it should have a layer, and it should have a material assigned to it. So let's create a layer, or I guess we already have a layer. It's called ocean. So I'm going to actually, that one was my ground plane, the flat one. Let me create a separate one for this one. So I'll call this just Maxwell C. I'm not personally going to worry so much about the color. And what we have to do is actually get a good material. But if you want to see a draft first, we could do a quick draft of just the material, actually. Let's spend a quick moment showing you what that looks like before I materialize it. Do I still have my settings all screwed up?
Yeah.
I think I do. Hold on.
It was saying that the reason that it wasn't doing that is because there's no light.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't have it back on my sky. Sorry. I'm back on my sky now. All right. Well, so you can't really see it that well, and it's going to take too long for it to render out fully, but as it gets better in quality, you'll start to see a little bit of, kind of going, rocking up and down on this thing. So what we're going to do here, and you can already see it on mine, but I doubt you'll be able to see it up there for a long while. But so let's basically apply the material to it. Let's go to the material panel, and we'll go back into the MXM gallery. And hang on, let me find the name of it again that I have here for you. Yeah, okay. So basically, just search for water. Thought I'd downloaded a different one. Hey, what? There we go. Now, there are a bunch of water type things. I kind of want to try Wavy Water at some point. I don't know why that's going to be different. I'll import that one later. But the one that I want is just called water. It's not that one, I don't think. This one. Okay, so this one right here, 6. I don't know why it says 6. Anyway, you could probably try any of these and it would be fine, not that one. But notice how they have a little bit of texture to it. It's to give it some light reflectance and to make it look like realistic water. So I'm going to grab this one real fast and import that. And then drag that onto my Maxwell C layer. Yes? Huh? What?
6.
Oh yeah, 6, sorry. So then when I render, anyway, I'm going to go to my draft render. Oh, hang on. Why are you behaving differently? Maybe it's a different water setting that I grabbed. Which one is it? Hang on. Whoa. Whoops. Alright. I just accidentally closed Rhino. Hang on a moment. Anyway, so in case you guys missed that, after I got booted up here again, the one I inserted, because the last one didn't really behave the way I thought it should, was water surface. I think this was the one that I had imported. So anyway, you can take that and drop it onto, oh, it's not on the layer yet. Oh, you know what? I don't think I created a new layer, but I don't think I actually assigned the object to the layer. So should work either way. So let's call this Maxwell C, except this time make sure you right click it and change object layer. I think that's what I forgot last time. So then I can go to this water setting, and even the one that you guys had already loaded probably is going to behave more properly this time. Now I can do my draft render, and hopefully this one should work a little bit more properly.
Wait, you did change object layer?
Change object layer, yes. Haha. You guys are going to love this. So let's let this draft out for a little bit, but you can already kind of see it, right? The anticipation is building. Anyway, you can see the draft down there a little better. But anyway, so it basically it creates an oceanic surface for you, and that's pretty sharp in my mind. So you guys saw the size of it. You saw the height of the waves. So we could make this really, really intense or really, really subtle if you wanted, more like lake water. This is probably closer to ocean water right now. So what I would like you to do, well, actually, let's do a quick draft of a much sort of larger oceanic surface, one that's actually going to reach the end of our horizon there. So I'm going to quit this and redo that surface real fast. So let's do another one. Yeah, you could probably stretch it. Yeah, you could stretch it, I'm sure. So I'm going to make this one 500 by 500 with, I'll probably keep the same wave height. 500, Y, 500, size, let's bump it up to 13. And the other thing I'm going to do is get rid of the ocean that I already have in here. So this one should behave a little bit more naturally with the sort of proposed environment. And when you see it in the side here, guys, you can see these lines. Those lines are going to tell you like where the height is, so you can use that to align to the building. And of course, just double check down here that it generally is going to fit all right. Let's get back into perspective and see our building on the hillside. I must admit the perspective on this really isn't all that great, but I want you to see the features, and then we'll spend time actually talking about image composition. Oh wait, I didn't assign it to the layer. There we go. Okay, so this one is going to be a little bit more interesting, at least I think anyway. So let me let this render for a little bit. I'm going to pause and let it go. Alright, so I'm going to let this run for a little bit so that you guys can see the light reflection quality and everything. But also notice how like over here on the right hand side, it kind of swells upward. That's not necessarily accurate or real or believable in some cases. So what this does, if you look at the small version that you make, is it actually kind of pulls the edges upward a little bit. And I think, this is my suspicion, I didn't read it anywhere, I suspect that's in an effort to actually capture a more horizon-based thing without showing any kind of other actual extents. That's a guess. But anyway, so that's what's happening here. I probably just had the corner kind of flipping up at the end. So just be careful of that kind of thing as you're developing these. But I mean, look at the density of the ripples in the water. I mean, that's pretty special, right? So the undulation of the waves is the surface. The ripples in the water, that's the material. Does that make sense? So that's what you're seeing there. The two systems together are really what's giving you that really intriguing development. And I don't know what that weird line is on the edge of my hill. I'll have to figure that one out. But all right. So on the subject of water, are there any questions? It's a pretty simple feature, but it's pretty powerful. Yes.
I couldn't get it to do anything like that.
No? All right, we'll work on it. Let me come around and see, I'm going to work with each of you to make sure we can get this and get it working properly. So, yeah. Any other questions? Okay.